Hello, it's me, and I'm here in Helsinki, the capital city of Finland, and I'm here to tell you some random things about Finland. Let's go!
So, around 10,000 years ago, some people looked north and they thought to themselves, maybe we should go up there. And so they did. Many centuries after that, this country called Sweden thought to themselves, hey, that place looks kinda neat, we should have that. And then they conquered it, and they had it for around like 600 years. Russia looked over at Finland and were like, wow, that looks pretty cool. And then they conquered Finland away from the Swedes in 1809. And they had it up until around World War I, where the Russian Empire fell. That led to like kind of a dominance struggle in Finland between the White Finns and the Red Finns, which would later be called the Finnish Civil War. Then around 1917, Finland would finally become independent. Oh yeah, and they also were the first European country to give women the right to vote, which is pretty cool. When you're in Helsinki, you don't really feel like you're in a big city, because everything feels very calm and no one is in a rush, and everything feels safe. And yeah, it just has like the energy of a small town somehow. It's hard to ignore the nature in Finland, as 74% of the country is covered by forests and 10% of the country is covered in lakes. And I'm guessing the remaining 16% must be just covered by saunas then. Right now it's summer here in Finland, but in the winter Finland almost transforms into an entirely different country. Because the longest day of the year in Finland is around 19 hours, and the shortest day is only about 6 hours. I've heard that the Finns aren't a big fan of small talk, and that they're also very comfortable with silence. Also, they tend to keep to themselves, so out in public, they keep their space. There are actually 2 official languages in Finland. Besides Finnish, there is also Swedish. And as a result, whenever you go read on anything, like maybe a package of cheese or anything else, you will see that there will always be a description in Finnish and Swedish. Both are mandatory subjects in the schools. Finland does not have a monarchy. The closest they came was in 1917, where Frederick Charles of Hesse reigned for a whole 67 days before he chose to step down. In Finland, the 13th of October is the National Day of Failure. And I think that's pretty cool, because it's very important to fail. And we should celebrate failing. Finland has a wild like sauna to person ratio. The population is around 5.6 million. And they have around 2 million saunas, so you do the math on that one. Some people call Finland the land of 1,000 lakes, but I think they should really call it the land of 187,888 lakes, because that's the amount of lakes that they have. And yeah, this is not a lake, this is the ocean, but yeah. The Finnish language is in the top 10 of the hardest words to learn and translate in the world. And their longest word is 61 letters long, and it looks like this. And I'm not even gonna try to say that out loud. But yeah, all their words are so long, I don't understand how they ever have a conversation without it lasting an hour.
Hey man, do you have time for a quick question?
No, sorry.
Have a nice day.
Everyone is either on their phone or having earbuds in or headphones. Like we're all just walking around in our small little bubbles, and I'm so afraid to like burst anyone's bubble. It's scary. Can you stand here?
Alright.
Yeah. It's just for YouTube, like a fun little thing. What's your name?
Jenny.
So the question is, would you rather have everything to lose or nothing to lose? It's a tough question.
Everything to lose or nothing to lose? Nothing to lose, except humanity.
Yeah? Why do you choose that answer?
I mean that I think for working class people there is nothing more than humanity to lose. So it's good position to change the world.
So when you say humanity, do you mean like our morals and stuff like that? Okay, but if we have nothing to lose, do we have our humanity then, or do you think we still have our humanity left, or?
I think we have that left. Yes. And we have many good things also still which are disappearing. So I think that wasn't normative. My answer was normative, but it wasn't realistic.
I kind of feel a bit like an NPC in a video game. Just standing here for people to talk to. It's a bit awkward. Because they can like see me standing here. There's like the long walk down to the middle.
If we are talking about money and such thing, it doesn't matter so much. But if we are talking about people, family, everything, then of course it's easier if you have nothing to lose.
Okay, so it kind of depends on what the everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's you can choose what it is. So
Okay.
if it's the people, then.
Then if I would be only me in this world, it would be easier. But if I'm happy to have a big family and so on, so it is tougher to lose everything.
Yeah.
What I have here.
You would rather have nothing to lose.
No, I rather have my family. Yes, I rather have my family. Yeah. So, but I don't want to lose them, of course. Yes.
You said, do you think it's easier to be alone in this world? Did you say that? Or that's interesting.
No, it's not easier. But if I need to think that I'm going to lose my family or the people I love, then it's of course more tough than just be me, and I wouldn't need to worry about anyone else. But I still prefer to have a big family instead of being alone in this world.
Yeah, sure.
So I can't answer really your question. It's a really tough question.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a tough question, and like the everything part is different for everyone, right? Because people think about different things. Yeah.
Because of course, if you have a lot of money and so on, and you lose it, okay, but that's then only this money or house or a car.
You guys are the happiest country in the world, in Finland. So it's a very simple question. What does it take to be happy?
I think what it takes to be happy is that you are happy with the people who you are living, and you are treating people right and with kindness with all. So I think that makes at least me happy. So.
Sorry about dog.
Yeah, no problem.
Finland is, because it's sort of a safe country, and I think you can sort of go out with your dog and with your children and let them play in the playgrounds without sort of big worries compared to, let's say, some places in Europe, and the weather is nice, and I don't know. I suppose we're quite happy.
Would you rather have nothing to lose or everything to lose?
That's a tough question.
Very tough.
Oh, which would I don't know. I think I would take everything to lose. I don't know why, but I've already lost my husband, so I don't have actually. Of course, I've got my children and everything, but anyhow, I've sort of met the idea of I've got everything to lose, so I'll choose that. I'm not sure if that's a good answer, but yeah.
And you would still choose that. That's very beautiful, I think.
Okay, thank you.
That's the reason why, at least, or yeah.
I think that is because I know what is to lose the love of your life.
Fuck, I feel really bad that I didn't say sorry for your loss to her. I just froze. Just being confronted with someone who actually has experienced real loss just kind of made my little question seem pretty stupid all of a sudden. I feel kind of bad about it. Finland is ranked as the happiest country in the world. And I read some articles that kind of try to discuss how and so and why, and if you Google it, you'll probably find a lot of people saying such things as low corruption, low income inequality, and a healthy education system, social security, healthcare financed by the state, a lot of things like that. But these things aren't necessarily unique to Finland. I mean, you could say that about a lot of Scandinavia. So, I don't know what it is about Finland. I guess they do, I mean, you will read many articles, saying that the Finns are connected to nature and such, but I'm not sure what that even means, or I'm not even sure what nature really is. Like, where does nature stop and where does nature begin, right? I don't know. But I do feel quite confident that going to saunas and going in cold water afterwards, that really does make you feel happier. I think that's real. But I really do kind of wonder what it takes to be happy. Of course, I guess we all do. And when I say happy, I don't mean like existing in a constant state of euphoria. I mean just being somewhat content and at peace with the content of your life. Yeah. Why is that so hard? And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, but I think it kind of has to do with it. If I would rather have nothing to lose or everything to lose. And I think that's a really tough question. I feel like I have experienced both in a way. It's kind of easy in a certain sense to have nothing to lose, 'cause it's a life without fear. But it's also a very incomplete life. So I would definitely pick to have everything to lose. But yeah, it kind of also depends on how you define everything, of course. And I think that will vary from person to person. And I think how you answer that question actually has a lot to do with who you really are. Yeah. What does it mean to have everything? What is that? I mean, it has to be like related to what you want in life, right? It's very idealistic because, I mean, of course it's impossible for a human being to have everything. Like if we interpret having everything as like extinguishing their desire, like their ability to desire things, because I'm not sure if that's possible to stop desiring things. Like we'll always strive for something that is beyond our reach. I think that's what makes us human and makes us able to grow, and that's okay. I think we just have to make peace with that. Yeah, I definitely think it must be part of being happy to kinda just make peace with what you have, while at the same time trying to get your everything. Because if we stop trying to, like, if we stop hanging on or trying to achieve or maintain our everything, like we kind of stop being people, because we will always have ideas or things or people that we care about more than others. Because if we didn't do that, we wouldn't like be people anymore, right? Yeah. Finland is the happiest country in the world. And it's probably because they go to saunas. Yeah, I can't come up with any better explanation. Like, that made me feel better. I wish I could do that, like, every week at home. I think, why do saunas make you feel better? I think it's because the very, very sudden shift in temperature from very hot to very cold, it kind of forces you to exist in the present and nothing else. Like, and it kind of forces you to exist through your senses and get down on your body. Because, you know, you're not going to be thinking about your taxes while you're sitting there in 90, 100 degrees and your hair is on fire. And, yeah, it's kind of nice just to not having to think about everything for a while. I think that's where we are able to feel good, when our thoughts don't weigh us down and we worry and are fearful because of all the things we love and enjoy and need and want and don't have and have. And then that makes us keep thinking. So yeah, if you want to have a happier country, for sure, you know, like feeling safe, trusting people, having a healthy healthcare system, educational system, social security, not a lot of homeless people, low crime rate, you know, all of that is probably pretty good. But yeah, definitely go with the saunas. Like, just, yeah. Pour all the funding into building public saunas, and I think we will all be a bit happier. I think that'll be the conclusion from here. Yeah, Box Pop signing out. Thank you for watching.